This is why, as an investor and just as a person, who gives a shit what people say to you? It is about what they are doing. And big money is saying how bearish and how crappy Tesla is, but they're buying hundreds of millions of dollars worth of options, and they're obviously positioning themselves to see this breakout up to at least 200, maybe even up to $220. Very big day today for me. Ended up closing out my Tesla calls for a $56,000 profit. Those were the June 28ths that we talked about in the video yesterday. I'm still holding on to my calls for August with Tesla. I think that Tesla is easily going to push through this liquidity level at $190 and move up to 200 bucks. In this video, we're going to go over why I took my profit specifically today on those weekly calls, when I think the break of $190 is going to happen, why I think Tesla is going to hit $200 in the next couple of weeks, and deliveries, which will be coming out the second day of the new quarter. Now, Tesla has been one of my worst performing stocks up until the past couple of weeks. And I feel like I've been calling $200 on Tesla for the past couple of months. And you're going to see that if we go into my filters looking so far this year, and we just isolate Tesla on its own, we're up over $252,000 in realized profits. You can see that almost all of the realized profits on that, 200 of the 250,000, have been within the past couple of weeks, and specifically this month. At this point, I'm holding on to my calls that I have on Tesla that expire on August 16th. They're $190 strikes. You're going to see that this is a massive position, $153,000, and you're going to see that this is the execution. We entered this on 6/17, and since then we have not done anything with the position. Yes, this is a big trade, but what you're going to notice is that we're taking half of the profits that we've made realized to date on Tesla, and that's what we're risking. So while it is a lot of money, it is not that much relative to my overall net worth. It's not that much relative to the profits that I have locked in so far this year. And so we're not putting ourselves in a situation where we could blow the account up or take a significant loss. You're not going to be able to hide from the losses forever. There's going to be points, even with the best strategy, where you're going to lose money. So you have to know how to take it on a chin, and that's why we're risking accordingly. Yesterday, as the market closed, I posted over on my X this setup that was happening on the 1 hour for Tesla, and I want to explain this in detail and go over why I closed those shorter term calls today. In the past couple of weeks, basically starting at the beginning of June, price has been trading within this price level, basically of 190 as highs, down to $167 as lows. And we've been talking a lot about liquidity levels, specifically on Tesla, because there's been so many of them recently. And I had a student over on X ask me the difference between a liquidity level, spotting one of those, versus spotting a support. You're going to see that a support level that we could draw off is here at about $167. This is where we bounced before. So in most cases, when price comes back down into this level, we're going to see if we can test a bounce. Now, the difference between a regular support level and a liquidity level is really the amount of buyers that are sitting at that level. And the way that you can tell that they're sitting at that level and that it's still respecting the level is when you see a uniform support level like this that looks almost too good to be true. You're going to see that we bounced here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times before finally breaking. And what I mean when I say a liquidity level, it just means that there are institutional buyers who have limit orders set within this level so that whenever price pulls back down, they're scooping this up at the bottom and they're selling it, if you guys were able to notice, right at this liquidity level every single time we push up to there. So this is why in most cases when you feel like you're behind the curve when you're trading and that you're just selling at the wrong times and you're buying at the wrong times, it's usually because we're trading around these liquidity levels where there are a lot of stop hunts. Because you have to remember, right? Like if you have enough money to move the market collectively and you can see that there are people who have stop losses set all underneath the support level of $174, then all you have to do is drive price through that level, trigger all of those responsible traders so all of them stop out, and then you get to buy up contracts or shares for significantly cheaper, allowing price to bounce. And then as everyone thinks that we're breaking out and we're moving up into this liquidity zone, they do the opposite. They sell into strength. Retail or everyday people like us think that the stock is going to go up and we're going to push through the resistance, but instead they slap it right back down. And we will usually have this ping pong motion until price eventually breaks. Moving out now to a daily chart, which is a much bigger time frame, you're going to see that this liquidity zone that we were talking about actually expands all the way out to the end of April. So this is the big level that we've really been watching. The more times that price tests a liquidity zone, the higher of a chance that we will finally break out. So that's why I think that we're going to see Tesla break out within the next week, week and a half, and that should move us up into $200. Now, something very important also occurred today. If you guys are my students or you've taken any of our free courses, which all of our free courses will be in the description, you know that when we see the BX trender, which is this indicator at the bottom, when we see a higher low, that means that there is massive bullish accumulation. So when a liquidity level is tested multiple times, we have hundreds of millions of dollars of confirmed options flow for the next couple of months, which we saw happen last week. And now we are seeing a higher high on the BX trender, which is showing massive accumulation of shares. There is a very high chance that price is going to break through this level. Now, something you have to understand as well, and this might be tinfoil hat conspiracy, if you look at how the news has been dropping over the past couple of days, it is so bearish. You have Cybertruck recalls that they're pushing, like anybody cares. Like from an investment standpoint, I own a Cybertruck, but as an investor, I don't care about Cybertruck numbers. I don't care about any of that. That is not something that's going to make the company a ton of money. It's not something I'm focusing on. But the media is pushing all the recalls. They're pushing this notion that for sure they're going to come in with significantly less deliveries than people are expecting. And from what I've noticed, usually when the news is crapping publicly on the stock, but behind closed doors, they're buying hundreds of millions of dollars, the stock will usually rocket. And it's funny, like, this is why, as an investor and just as a person, who gives a shit what people say to you? It is about what they are doing. And big money is saying how bearish and how crappy Tesla is, but they're buying hundreds of millions of dollars worth of options, and they're obviously positioning themselves to see this breakout up to at least 200, maybe even up to $220. And does this mean that this trade will work out? Of course not. I'm risking $150,000, which is half of my Tesla profits for the year, which is 1/10 of my profits year to date. It is a very big position as far as numbers, but it is very small relative to my account. As far as delivery numbers, I don't really know what's going to happen. I know they're supposed to come out on the second day of the new quarter, so that's next week, but I don't know how the market's going to react. I personally don't really care too much about those deliveries, but time will tell, right? There's no real way going into a catalyst like deliveries or earnings that you can really give a formulated opinion on what's going to happen. At least I can't. But all I can say is what we talked about earlier. They're publicly saying that numbers are going to be bad. They're publicly getting ready for the stock to drop, but they're buying it up. So you can formulate your own opinions as to what you think is going to happen. As always, guys, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for all the support that you've given me over the past 4 years of doing this. This year has been absolutely amazing. We haven't had more engagement. We haven't profited more. And I just feel like the community, everything is working so well. And I'm so freaking blessed. And I'm so happy to be able to do this and to share this with you guys. You know, when I first started trading, there wasn't gurus on the internet even then. Like I posted about this in X, but in 2000, but when I started trading 9 years ago, I would have to drive to seminars from Philadelphia up to Manhattan to just get some crappy technical analysis course. And it's really cool to have people around you, even though we're not physically around each other, but people in your corner who are learning together, pushing themselves together, and really focusing on quality of the community, because money is phenomenal. It's obviously no one's going to tell you that having money doesn't make your life easier, that you're not able to help more people. It's all great. But there becomes this point, especially as an entrepreneur and as a trader, where not a lot of people understand you. Not a lot of people get what you're going through, and they more importantly do not understand the trading side as to why you would do something for so long without seeing some massive return. And so having a community in your corner really, really helps, because I would have quit if I didn't have my mentor with me to at least help me through the losses in the beginning. So guys, as always, thank you for all support. I'll see you next time.